welcome to the August What We're Reading! As you can see, me and Elizabeth are sitting down once again to record our monthly Wattpad book, and this time we are reading Spies and Skates by VB123321, which, as most of you know, is a series we're going through and we're so close to finishing, and I'm so excited.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a synopsis, so if you haven't read it, you guys kind of know what we're talking about. By this point, Nat thinks she's used to the whole spy thing, so her sorta kinda not really boyfriend is now wanted by the same agency her brother leads. So the crazy murderer who almost killed her is still out there somewhere, so no one will tell her anything that's going on. At least it's Christmas break. And then that boy shows up in her life, bringing as much mystery, suspense, terror, and head-over-heels feelings as the last time. As the freezing polar vortex sets in, sending buckets of snow and ice and negative temperatures over the town, Nat finds herself out on another spy adventure. This time the stakes, or should we say the skates, are much higher. Nat and the gang are treading very thin ice. Pizzini isn't just the conniving gangster he seems. He's got darker dreams. Zach isn't just the troubled teen he seems. He's got bigger secrets. But Nat isn't just the lost, confused girl she seems. She's got spy genes. Spies and skates? It's a slippery career.
Woo!
She has such punny synopses.
No, I love it. Yeah, I was sitting there, you were reading it, I was like, this is amazing. I love these synopses, it's amazing. Okay, so, I guess first things first, Nat. What are you thinking of Nat so far in this book?
She's a good main character. I mean, she's carried us through 2 books already, and so she makes pretty good, sound decisions. So I could understand her pretty well. I know you for the first book. You just found her like really relatable.
Yeah, I think she was just so what a normal person would react like. This book, I really like the fact that she was taking like the no nonsense thing. Like for 2 books now, she's had to deal with the fact that no one would tell her anything. And that's the fact that no one gave her information has got her into trouble. And I think she's now sussed that, so now she's demanding information from people. Like, she demanded that Patrick tell her what TriStar was and what Zach's history stuff and was. I think this book especially, I like the fact that she was with a different trio. Like it was her, Patrick and Zach. And I'm enjoying the fact that she's with different people all the way around, so that's cool.
Except for Zach.
Yeah, Zach's like a good constant, and I like the fact that their relationship-wise is developing. It's not very much like they're not insta-love. It's very much there is stuff they both have to overcome. I really like the fact that for this book she got jealous for the first time, and then she was trying to, I think that was really, you need that step to be like, okay, are my feelings actual feelings or what? Like the fact she got jealous, you kind of confirm the fact that, okay, she does have quite hardcore feelings for Zach. But yeah.
Speaking of her trio, Patrick, he's a much bigger character in this book. Like in the last book, he was just like this random stranger that kind of knows what's going on, and then this book, it's like, boom.
I know. I love Patrick in this. He was just such a good, almost like comic relief, but like a somewhat sensible comic relief in this. He kind of just, for how serious everything is and how almost life-threatening, like he drove in front of a train. He's got such this like childish awe for a grown man, and I really enjoyed that. Like Patrick all the way through had me like smiling whenever he was on, no matter what he was talking about. I'm just like, I love you, Patrick. Thank you. Thank you for existing. But yeah, and it was really interesting learning the depth of his history with Zach. Like obviously it was touched upon in book 2, but actually going into the depths of that added so much more to both his character and Zach's, and then how Natalie portrayed them, like saw them both. And it also says a lot when his job was to look after Natalie. That says a lot in Jeremy's trust of him.
Yeah, and I'm really fond of him. I don't know where it was, maybe it was at the end of one of the books, but I read about kind of how when Patrick was younger and he was taking care of Zach, and he's just like this really sweet big brother figure.
In this book, you learn so much more about Zach's history and the fact how much family he's lost. And it was so nice that he managed to... He lost his family, but he also managed to find somewhat of a new one in Patrick. And even on a subconscious level, he sought Patrick out as well when he was injured at the beginning of this book. He sought out Patrick to help him. So that shows, even though he doesn't trust the agency, at a core he trusts the person.
And how do you feel about Zach in this book?
He was such a typical boy. And I mean that in such the whole when Natalie was jealous and he didn't understand why, and I'm like, you're such a boy. Zach's defences in this book were definitely up. And I think that was very well, for a genuine reason, because the last book, the agency was clearly against him and they had, handcuffed him and he'd escaped. So he was on the run. As a flaw as a character, he's very much one mind. He's only focused on getting Pizzini and not thinking about the risks or anything. But I like learning about his dad and TriStar and kind of figuring out what those secrets he was hiding and why he didn't trust the agency and stuff. And I was I think it added a lot more layers to the character. And I'm so glad him and Natalie finally got together. It's adorable, but please make it official, because you keep referring to him as an almost boyfriend, and I'm like...
What did you think of Jack?
See, Jack was an interesting character, as in... I liked her character introduction because of the whole made Nat jealous thing. But I also liked the fact that it was adding more to layers to the world, as in this criminal grey area. And I like the fact that you thought it was a boy all the way through and that it was this gorgeous girl, but all the way through that, as soon as Jack was introduced, I'm she's gonna be jealous. She's gonna be jealous. Oh my god. But Jack was a really interesting character, and it was very cool to see a different girl dynamic, because girl wise all you've really seen is Natalie and Molly, and Molly's very egotistical and Nat's the everyday ordinary girl, so it was nice to have a different girl in the mix. What about you?
I thought she was a pretty good character all in all. She definitely added something unique to this story, and she proves to be a pretty nice character by the end, with helping Nat out in the hospital and stuff. And shooting Pizzini. And what did you think of the plot?
I like the fact that the books have now become almost one after another merging. This one was very much, it wasn't set in one place, which I thought, the last book I really liked that, but this is more about the town. It was more of a character piece than anything. The character that focused more on the characters and trying to figure out more why Pizzini was after Zach, finding more background information. It was a very quick read, and I think the actual everything only happened over 3 days or something like that. Something really quick. It was really good, and I think the plot, it wasn't lulling. Everything made sense. There was genuine reasons for why she'd stay at Patrick's. There was a snowstorm, and they were in the hospital because he got stabbed, and it was very much, it didn't just pause for no reason whatsoever. Everything kind of upped the ante, especially that car chase. That car chase was very much like a movie in my brain. I was like, whoa, I can see this.
Yeah, all the plot events were bam, 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 bam. And it was short and sweet, but I think it worked really well for the story.
Yeah. I think that's the theme of the series of books. The stuff's very short and sweet, but it works so well. And I think because it's a spy, action-y kind of book, you need it to be short, sweet, straight to the point, bam, 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 bam. Otherwise, you wouldn't get that thrill and the action-packedness of the whole thing. So,
and all the books together blend really well into one story.
I know. Literally, the minute I found out, it was literally a few days after the last book finished. I was I'm still in the world. You can read them all back to back so easily. Writing style, what do you think of the writing style? Has it improved?
I think it's improved, not necessarily maybe not the prose itself. The prose was pretty good. I think it was neat and professional. I didn't take much note of it. But it did its job, and it carried us through this story quickly, and, you know, there wasn't any lulling or, like, excess description. But I think her writing has improved a lot as far as, like, especially plot is concerned. Like, the books get really intense at some points, and that's why I, like, couldn't stop reading the series and just went, like, kind of all the way through.
Yeah, I think definitely looking at this book, after the first book especially, you can so see how much she's improved as a writer. And I think making such believable characters and such a wild plot seem so believable as well is really impressive as a writer, and reading that is really fascinating, and I'm like, you just want to read more. So I really enjoy watching that progression and like picking up on that and actually being part of, like, I'm almost like a proud mum being like, well done, you're improving.
I know, I find that a beginning mistake a lot of new writers make is the plot events seem really random, like one thing happens, another thing, another thing, another thing. And it's supposed to be really exciting, but it's also unrelated that, yeah, it ruins the flow, it's hard to follow, and it ends up not being that great. And this, obviously, there isn't that problem. And as you'll see a lot in the fourth book, all of the conflict is kind of foreshadowed in earlier books. Like, the fourth book centers a lot about gangs and his mom, things like that, all of which are mentioned earlier. So it just all flows together really well.
So guys, that was our what we're reading for August. As you can tell, we are loving this series, and I now get to read the final book, and I'm so excited. So do you want to say what our book is for next month?
Sure. So we're reading this book called Anonymous, which is a Cinderella retelling, and it's by Dum Dum Pops 4.
Yeah, we'll make sure to put that in the description box. This actually looks really fascinating, and I love Cinderella retellings, I think. So I'm excited to read this one too. So I hope you enjoyed this, what we're reading, and you should now pop over to Elizabeth's channel, where we're going to be doing the bonus video, and we're going to be doing some sort of spy clues stuff, and I'm excited for it. So go and pop over there, show your support on both videos. If you have anything to say about what we've said, please write it in the comments. Me and Elizabeth are always looking in there talking. So yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Bye!